Theresa May looked down as the US president repeated comments he originally made in the Sun newspaper that Boris Johnson would be a great prime minister. He was asked at the pair's joint conference about the compliments he paid to Mr. Johnson, who quit over Mrs. May's Chequers deal, saying the Brexit dream is dying. The president said he was asked specifically about Boris and whether he would be a good PM, and I said he'll be a great prime minister. He's been very nice to me. He's been saying very good things about me as president. I think he thinks I'm doing a great job. I am doing a great job, that I can tell you, just in case you haven't noticed. He added, he's been very nice to me. He's been saying very good things about me as president. I think he thinks I'm doing a great job. I am doing a great job, I can tell you, just in case you haven't noticed. Boris Johnson, I think, would be a great prime minister. But the US president was keen to emphasize his respect for Mrs. May and smooth over any offense caused by his comments to the Sun. He told reporters today, I didn't criticize the prime minister. I have a lot of respect for the prime minister. It didn't put in what I said about the prime minister, and I said tremendous things. Mr. Trump said the Sun story was generally fine, but missed out his positive comments about Mrs. May, adding that the White House records all interviews. It's called fake news, and we solve a lot of problems with the good old recording instrument, the president said. And President Trump claimed his relationship with the UK is now the highest level of special. Gesturing at Mrs. May, he said, I also said this incredible woman right here is doing a great job, a fantastic job. The president said yesterday I had breakfast, lunch and dinner with Mrs. May and their relationship had improved. He added, I think she's a terrific woman doing a terrific job. And Mr. Trump seemed to backtrack on his comments that the Brexit deal Mrs. May was seeking was not what the British people voted for. That Brexit is a very tough situation. That's a tough deal between the borders and the entries into the countries and all of the things. The president said Mrs. May will do very well in the Brexit negotiations. She's a very tough negotiator. I have been watching her over the last couple of days. She's a tough negotiator. She's a very, very smart and determined person. I can tell you there are a lot of people that are looking up now that are saying, gee whiz, she left a lot of people in her wake. Read more Donald Trump's UK visit. She's a very smart, very tough, very capable person, and I would much rather have her as my friend than my enemy, that I can tell you. Culture Minister Margot James added, no, Mr. President Boris Johnson would make a terrible PM. Labour leader Jeremy Corbyn said Theresa May has invited President Trump to our country at a time when his dangerous and inhumane policies are putting the lives and well-being of millions of people at risk.